Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. You got it. It's another exciting day here, and this is an interesting day because I know what's in here and I don't. You see, I know we got the watch you have all been waiting to see. The 720p HD camera Bluetooth Android 5.1 Ourtime X01S. But you know what I don't know is what color it is, because I just said surprise me. Silver, black, or gold? What do you think? What do you think? It's a black one! That matches the paperwork. What do you know? This comes to us from Gearbest. Thank you, guys. It's taken a while to get this watch here. Whew, looks a little bit dusty. No, I guess that's just spots on the front. It has taken a while. Many of you have asked for a review on this one. Why? Because it's waterproof. It's got a camera. It's the full Android 5.1. And, well, it's got the memory. So what are we looking at? We're looking at something that's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people. But we got to take a look at what's inside the box first, right? And we have the receptacle from which the watch came. Oh, a little tight. There we go. Get inside of here. Okay, we got a bunch of goodies. I'm just going to dump them out, folks. Yeah. That's what I want first. You know what that is? That's the really big. Is it on here somewhere? No. You see the battery? Well, it should be, because it's like a massive battery in this thing. It's supposed to be like 600 milliamp hours. And that's big by watch standards, so you get a lot of power. 600 milliamp hours right there in a well-designed battery. This isn't one of those little flaily things. And look, it's replaceable. That means you could get more of these, and if you really need it out in the field, you could just bring some charged batteries to put in. Of course, getting it in there is going to be a trick, because it takes screws to open the back off, and that would go in. We'll do all of that and charge it up, and then you're good to go. So we got a high-power battery, we've got a decent watch with a camera, and we got a lot of memory on board. We got a warranty service card with a place to put down all your information. We've got a magnetic, you can tell, coupled. Wow, this is quite the charger. And this is a little SIM eject kind of a tool. How does this thing go on? No idea. It looks like the pins are there, and that's there, so one would guess you just slap it in like that, and the cradle rides there. It is a very, very strong magnet. This is not going to go anywhere. The bands are really tight, so we know we got antennas in the bands. It's not going to be replaceable, although there are screws right here that looks like you could unscrew the bands, but I wouldn't remove them. Those two holes there sound like that's going to be the speaker, which is nice to have an up-front speaker. That also means it's going to be nice and loud when you're on phone calls or listening to music. We have the little SIM slot here, it looks like. We open that up, I presume. Ah, you push down maybe. See, first time I'm doing this, so okay, it's a little tray. We put the SIM card in the tray, and then we just simply slide it in. All right, that's the microphone. You don't want to stick the thing in there. Yeah, press and push, and out it comes. It's so embarrassing when I screw up on camera. But I'm human, and you know that, so just bear with me. We learn together. We have a plastic protector we can remove, and that's it except for the manual, right? The welcome manual. So let's see what we've got in here. I'd like to run through these with you on camera in case you want to freeze frame it. Oh my goodness. It's not a simple one. It's two-sided, and it's all in English. Well, I guess this is going to be a good time for me, of course, to remind you that there'll be links in the show notes for Gearbest, our recommended supplier for this one. They've brought us this one. A lot of trouble trying to get this here. We finally got it. The price may or may not be that. Usually we get a really good coupon price as well. So look in the show notes for that. Welcome. Which way do you think it goes? Across or down? It doesn't say. All right. I'm going to go across. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down. Welcome. Parts details. It tells you what you've got right here. And then the SIM card insert. If I would have read it, I would have known. Okay. Here we go to place the battery in the watch and to install a TF card. Really? We can put a TF card in this? That's a microSD for those of us in other parts of the world. And a USB connector, I guess. Oh, those are the three different things. Ding, ding, ding. You mean the side thing is the SD card? I don't know. We'll learn together. Home gestures, sliding up and down, left and right. Delocking and locking the screen. Touch it slightly to power and press the power on. Dial plate settings, how you would change your watch faces. Your contacts. The calling function, that's the phone app, sending messages, SMS, sending emails. You have an email client on there. Camera and video, how you can get in and use the camera. The mapping app. Well, that looks like the gallery app to me. I think they got that mislabeled. Music, how you handle music. There's the calendar app, which looks like a basic calendar. Navigation. Navigation related, I guess, then to map. Okay. And downloading apps from the Google Play Store. So you have all that support with a lot of memory on this watch. You can change the wallpaper through your settings. Net play, in other words, browsing the internet. Check notice. This is how you would check the messages, I presume, if you're tethered to your watch or with your SIM card. And then your warranty information, customer information, and repair record. And that's it, right? Both sides. Sending email, doing all that stuff, navigation, and all that stuff. Okay, well, enough for that. Let's take a look. I'm going to take it apart on camera, and we'll put the battery in together, since we all got to do that, right? All right. Okay, this is the last screw to loosen. Now, one thing I think would have been nice is if they would have put a straight-edged screwdriver in the box. I have to use my handy little watch kit to open it up because there's no screwdriver in here. And you have to take the back off in order to put the battery in to even turn the watch on. So if you get this and you're expecting to open it up and use it right away, you're not going to be able to. Oh, yes, you are! That's a spare battery? Oh my goodness! I love being surprised. Uh-oh, you see that? That looks like a little rubber grommet I got to be careful of. That gives it its waterproofing. Okay. Wow! It's got a battery already in there, and they shipped a spare. Look at that. And it's got this. Let's open it. There we go. Lift it up. Whoa! Have you ever seen connectors like that? That's not your typical, what you call it, SIM card. Is that the SD card? TF card? Wait a minute. Let me get one. Let's see. Okay. Here's a typical 32 gigabyte card with a lot of little connectors on it. And We open that up. It looks like it would slide underneath that little connector there. Does it just sit on top? Well, okay. It's made. Oh my goodness. All right, that's all you got to do is drop it in and let it go. Wow. Okay, and here's the wires coming into the connector that is for your SIM card. So we have a SIM card. We have expansion memory. You got. No wonder everybody wants a look at this watch. Wow. All right, I'm going to leave that puppy in there. What else is in here? That's it. The battery just goes in, and we've got 2 of them. Would be nice to have an external charger, you know, that you could charge the battery up on, or that this would have a compartment you could put that in, but we don't. But that's something also that you might want to get a hold of, is a screwdriver and a external battery. Wow, it came with 2. I'm really impressed. Okay. I'm going to put the watch back together. You want to watch me do that? Well, at least get it seated properly. I hope properly. A little worried about that thing kind of coming off the edge a little. We have to line the connectors up properly there. Drop that plate in. Hold it down. Okay, now I'm going to screw it back together. You know, the good thing is you get one started and then do the opposite side, and then you tighten them gently all the way around until you finally tighten them good. So we've got a battery and a SD card, TF card inside. Well, I'll be back after I get it all charged up, and we'll turn this puppy on, see what it does, okay? Well, as we boot back up here again, I'm going to give a shout out to Gearbest, who is the supplier of our Ourtime X01S 3G smartwatch phone. Awesome support. Thank you for going the extra mile to get this, even when we couldn't and couldn't again. But we've got it now, and I am very impressed. It's running Android 5.1. It's got capability to insert a TF card or microSD card for adding more memory. And look at it. It's a sweet watch. It's got nice curves to the surface of the cover here, the glass. It's got speakers in the front. Anyway, really nice. All right, the watch is up. Let's run through it. First of all, okay, drawbacks. Here's a couple of them. One is the watch faces. We can't install any additional ones, and it's a limited selection. You press and hold, and you can go to the next one. And there it is, just plain and simple, hands with date. You press it again, and it pops right back to the beginning, and then you got to go 1, 2 to go to the next one. And there's a nice rectangular one. That's the one I typically use. It's easy to see, and it looks pretty elegant. Press again, and go 1, 2, 3. Here's a digital. Really big. It gives you the time and the date. So outdoors, this one works pretty well. It'd be nicer if that was higher contrast, but it's still readable. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's another digital one, which is kind of like the flipping number clocks from the old days. There you go. It just flipped. And what else? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 watch faces. So as a watch, it's kind of limited in its availability of watch faces. However, some folks are playing with alternate launchers and overlays, and there may be ways to get more different watch faces in here. Scroll to the left, nothing happens. Scroll down, you get to the information center, which is quick. Scroll a second time. Well, you got to do it quickly. There you go. And you get, your notifications panel. We've got the battery and the settings that we can get into. You can adjust the brightness right from here, if you like. And you can do all of your setup for your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and SIM cards and location information. And then there's your typical notifications. Now, one of the cool things about this watch I've seen so far, it's the closest to a true Android implementation that I've seen in any watch. Usually we have overlays of strange ways that they've put in Android, but this one's clean. It's pretty clean. So down gate of the stat, we go over to the right and we get all of our apps. Go up and we get this circle. The circle lets us turn on and off different things, including tapping the center and clearing cache, I guess, somehow boosting the memory or the available memory on the watch, which is a really nice feature. GPS, that's your cellular data, and you can mute right there if you want to. And of course, airport mode. So that's clean, directly available. Swipe up, swipe down, swipe to the right, and we're going to get all of our apps, which I just went into something. What did I go into? Okay, the top one's that, and the bottom one is back. Messaging, I guess. Let's tap that again. Okay, there's messaging. I don't have it set up with a SIM card or anything, but that would be your standard messaging. Can I swipe to get back out of here? Well, that's not good. Okay, it looks like the only way you're going to move around on this is using the buttons, and the bottom one takes us back one level. Phone for placing your basic phone calls. Okay, that's where we were, and we can go into the dial pad there, tap in your number and dial it. And contacts will be where, of course, all of your contacts are that you set up. Basic stuff. Settings we'll come back to. Downloads, we don't have any, but there they are if you did. It's sweet because it's a nice square display, so it's easy to set everything up. You can set up your email account with the email app, and you also have the Google or the Gmail app. Here's gallery for any pictures that you have that you've taken with your camera. And then there's the camera we'll get back to. File manager for working with storage, and I've got 5.77 gigabytes of storage available of the phone, of the 8 gigabytes within the phone. And then I've added a 32 gigabyte SD card on top of that. Wow, wow, wow. This is like a real phone. This is like having, the older 8 gigabyte phones that you could buy. It's got the 8 gigabytes internal storage, but you could add the SD card. Sweet. And of course, you just tap on them, and you can go into whatever folders you need to go into. Oops, top one took me all the way back, or turned it off. Okay, back. Gmail, I mentioned, you can get in and set up your own Gmail account if you use that. Then there's the Google settings to set all of the stuff on your Google accounts. And of course, Google Maps and more and more. Let's do the Heart Rate Monitor Pro. You notice it said Pro? This is Runtastic Heart Rate Monitor app. And it's sweet because, look, folks, there's no heart rate monitor on the bottom here. But there is a camera. And in the right lighting, if you have a bright enough light shining in, when you touch the camera lightly, the camera can read the capillary blood moving in your fingertip and give you a pulse. So you can sign up into a Runtastic account. If you hit Remind Me Later down here at the bottom, you go right into your heart rate monitor. And I'm going to start it somehow. Oh, maybe it's already going. I just need to touch it. Yeah, it is. Look at that. It's making a tiny beeping sound. I don't know if you can hear that or not. And hopefully I have enough light. It's getting a pulse. And it's finished. So it does that circle. It tells you information. And depending on what you're doing, whether you're sleeping, just got up, or whether you're exercising or what, it gives you a category of whether it's good, medium, or bad. And it's awesome. You can save that by hitting done. You can discard it if you want to. We'll just say done. And then you've got a history. So this has a really good app to support heart rate. And because it's Runtastic, it looks like you can sync it to your Runtastic account. And it does it using the standard camera, which is a good way of doing it, actually. It's more accurate, I've found, even in the old watches before smartwatches that had a heart rate sensor on them. They used the same technique. So very impressed with what they've got going as far as heart rate goes on this watch. And browser, your standard basic browser, where you can put these about blanks can be actual pages, so you can set up pages that you want to use. So it's a relatively decent browser built into it. Your music to play your onboard music. And you could have a lot. You could have all your music on with SD card support, right? The calendar. Hey, look, it's not just your basic calendar. It's a real calendar so that you could go in and, I mean, this is hours of the day across days of the week, so you could actually schedule stuff. Calendars to display. A PC sync calendar. Calendars to sync. Looking good, isn't it? Looking very good. Calendar app. Lots of possibilities there. The original Google Play Store that lets you download all of your apps. I do have the watch on Wi-Fi right now, so we are connected. And I don't know if I've logged into Google yet. I don't think I have. I just got it up on the internet. Yeah, you have to sign in. But once you do, you've got the full Google. And of course, because it's square, you can touch the menu in the left hand and open it up and do all the things that you want to be able to do. Search. And there's the keyboard. H-A-P-P-Y. Happy. Easy to use keyboard. There's a tactile feedback. It's a little bloomed out on the screen, isn't it? Let's see if we can come down. No, I guess you have to be back at the beginning for that. Let's go back. Oh, look, that doesn't take us any further back except to here. Once you're here, I have to slide. Google Play Store. Did you want to uninstall it? No. Where did I see the ability to change the brightness? Down, then over. No? Wow, I thought I could change the brightness easily. Oh yeah, I remember. You got to come down and then come down again and come down again. And there it is. All right, I've made it softer, so now it'll be easier to use. Back out of here, over to the search. And there's the keyboard. Now it should be a little easier to see. And does it do the swipey thing? No, it's not set up for that. But of course, you can install whatever keyboard you want to on here because it's full Android. All right, so from search, we go to clock, which is a world clock, I guess, your basic clock here. You can come in here and set up a clock for any of these locations that you're interested in. And there's your alarm clocks, your basic clock, and then your stopwatch, where you can run a stopwatch on it. Pause. Export that if you want to, continue it. Basic Android stuff. And then finally, sound recorder. We will give it a whirl. Hello, everybody. We are talking about the Ourtime X01S 3G smartwatch phone. Stop it. I could have paused it, but we'll just stop it and play it. Wow. Very low volume. That's the second drawback. The watch faces, and even though it's right here on the front of the watch, it sounds like it's really, really soft. And I have not been able to boost that up very much. That's a shame. But if you use a Bluetooth connected headset, of course, that'll take that problem away. And that's it for installed apps. That's what comes with it. But you can definitely install a whole bunch of other apps if you want to. We're going to come back to settings and camera. So in the settings, we've got, of course, our setups for our Wi-Fi that you can turn on and off and set up your own Wi-Fi connectivity and Bluetooth and whatever you want to do for that. Data usage shows you how much data you're doing and in your Wi-Fi zone, and overview. So that's pretty cool. That's more standard Android stuff. Then we have more under that category. And instead of going into everything, we'll just kind of go through them because this is basic Android. This is neat, tethering and portable hotspot. You can, with a SIM card in here, just like you would in your phone, set up Bluetooth tethering or hotspot directly from the watch. It's a full implementation of Android 5.1. That's what's so sweet about it. Okay? The device, we have the display where we can choose a wallpaper, brightness level, how fast it's going to turn off, the font size, what happens when you rotate the device. Do you want it to stay frozen in landscape mode, which it's in right now, or not? We have sound and sound notifications, general ring and volume, where you can change the overall levels of the alarm volume and the ring volume. But I haven't been able to change the media volume, and then you can do all these things. So I don't know if I just got my media volume set low or what, but you have these profiles, and I usually put it on outdoor, which tries to make it the loudest possible across the board. The storage, phone storage and SD card, it's showing you I'm hardly using anything in the phone. And in the SD card, it's empty. It's a 32 gigabyte SD card, but it's there. So all that functionality with this as well. Battery, that huge battery, and all the battery life we could get out of it. It's saying approximately 3 hours left, but of course we're just turning it on and messing with it. It's hard to tell until you test it. But a very large capacity battery. And our apps, which is, most of these smartwatches, it just says uninstall apps, but this one gives you the full thing, just like we've seen before, where you have your downloaded, your running apps, your all apps, and you can go in there and clear cache or uninstall them or disable them or whatever you want to do. Oh, sort by size if you want to. Anyway, all that stuff is available. Personal, your location information. Set it for whatever accuracy. If you want to use the GPS capability, you can, and which apps are using your location information. The security lets you do your device administrators, which you need to set up permissions for sometime. This is the one you want to select the unknown sources if you want to install apps other than from the Google Play Store. Or if you put all your apps, like using backup and restore, on your SD card and then bring them in here. And then you can load them directly from the card without having to go back into the Google Play Store each time. Auto start management, app permissions, more and more stuff. This is all Android OS. So play with your phone, figure it out there, and then do it on your watch. Trusted credentials. Wow. I have a Turkish trusted credential in here. I'm going to have to look at that. Well, where were we? We're security. Accounts that you add, like your Google account, other things. Language and input, where you can choose what language. The spell checker stuff, your dictionaries, the current keyboard you're going to do, your text-to-speech. Usually you have an option in here to listen to it.
This is an example of speech synthesis in English.
Can you hear that? That's really soft. It's the British male voice that I set up, which is nice because you can download all those Google voices as well. Pointer speed, as if we have a pointer. Backup and restore. System date and time, scheduling power off, accessibility, printing, and about this phone. Here we go. It's an X01S, Android version 5.1. There's the baseband of August 24th, 2015. And the kernel version, 3.10.72, so forth, so on. and the custom build is X01S. So we have a very nice up-to-date, this is September 1st, 2016. Well, okay, this is a year ago. Sorry, 2015. We've got a decent Android 5.1 operating system in here. And again, I can't really go anywhere. I have to use the buttons to get back. That's a drawback. And the watch faces are kind of limited. And the speaker's not really loud. But I tell you, for everything else that you can do with this, coming with a spare battery that you can put in it. Oh, the camera. You wanted to see the camera. All right. Oops, I guess I'm in watch faces. Let's go into the camera. Okay, I'm going to take some pictures for you. Now, hiding just off camera along the ground is Mrs. Brickley. Can you see her? There she is. Hello, Mrs. Brickley. Are you in focus? You look like you are. Let's take your picture. Blink, it says. We could shoot a little video. This is a video of Mrs. Brickley. Hello. And a long shot. You can't see it on camera. But there we go. So now I can hit this, go back into gallery basically. And there's our image. And I believe I can zoom in. And you could read about Mrs. Brickley right there. It's a 5 megapixel camera. And double tap do anything? No, you gotta pinch it. It looks like I can draw on it. Oh, I can change all these different parameters on it. Let's make it kind of more orange. There you go. You can crop it. You can do all these video editing things to it, and then you can save it. So you got a picture editor in here as well. And then, whoops, come back here. We've got the video. And of course you couldn't hear it, but there was sound coming out. Again, hooked to a Bluetooth speaker, that would sound fine. And that's our first picture that we took. So, relatively robust camera for what it's worth. If I go back, oh wow, look at that. I somehow got it to zoom. I guess swiping down. Wow, okay. There's the writing. So you can zoom pretty far in. Triple click is turned on. I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway, there you go. There's the camera. When you're here, come here, Mrs. Brickley, let me see you. You notice that if I'm sideways like this, I'm taking the picture vertical. So it's really made for you to turn your arm this way, and that way is upright. So like if you were reading the time, you turn 90 degrees sideways to the topic you're trying to take a picture of, turn it almost completely vertical, and then take your picture or your video. If you do it with your arm down, it's going to be sideways. But there is a way you can rotate these pictures in here as well, so you could do that. You have the ability also to do panorama. So you tap that one and you can do a full 360 panorama of wherever you are. And that's the face beauty mode. So if you're doing people pictures, that will help with the blemishes and stuff. So you've got a really decent camera app in here as well as the onboard camera. That is it for this amazing little watch that's got lots of stuff going on with it. I highly recommend it. I'm going to be using this a lot. This is going to be my go-to watch when I'm out and about, especially with that extra memory capability and the beefy battery and the ability to change. I really wish you could just like pop the top back off easily, change the batteries, but taking a screwdriver along and the extra battery, I guess, is the way to go. At least that capability is there. You have been watching Smartwatch Tics and Mrs. Brickley. And thank you for joining us. We got more to come. Please subscribe.